Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a more serious type of video. I'm going to be doing a life update, and I'm going to be talking to you all about my July, because I think I need to do this before I can move forward and do everything else. It will explain to you why I had the least amount of videos that I've ever put out in a month last month, and it will also explain to you why there has been a very long delay between my last video and this one. Now, I know that some of you only want to see the happy, joy, positive videos, and if you're one of those viewers, that's totally fine. I totally respect that. The next video, whenever that comes out, will be a lot more positive, but yeah, I just need to sit here and discuss what happened in July for many and varying reasons. I didn't post a lot of videos last month. I almost didn't post any videos last month. I have been struggling to get back into being on Booktube, so that has been extremely tough. July for me was not a fun month at all. Something happened relatively early on, and it impacted the duration of the entire month for me. So, to start off with, I just want to say I'm going to be completely raw, completely real, completely transparent in this video, at least to the degree that I can. I am not going to mention names at all, but there are certain things that I may say that may be a little bit identifiable, and if that is the case, I do apologize. This video is a completely selfish video because it's a video that, while I am doing it to explain everything to you all, it's a video that I need to do for me, and I can't just sit here and skim the surface when it was an extremely tough month for me. And heading into July, so if we go back even further, towards the end of June, I was telling you all that I was going to do my favourites and non-favourites for the first half of the year for the duration of July. And yes, that was my goal, and yes, I did that. I also planned to do reading vlogs. They did not happen. I have to say that the only reason that I had any videos that came out at all in July was because I felt that I had made a promise to you all that I would do the first half of the year, favourites and non-favourites, and I wanted to stick to that. And you may think, oh, Mr. Francy, you're saying this to garner sympathy, or you're saying this, because it's clickbait, or whatever. But honestly, it's not. You can ask anyone that I was speaking with, not that I spoke to a lot of people, but people that I was speaking with that were helping me and supporting me through everything I went through, that I was seriously considering leaving because I don't honestly know how to bounce back from what happened. Then after I copped what I did, I felt like it was kind of swept under the carpet, and a lot of people have no clue what's even going on. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring this up, because I've had some of you coming to me asking me certain questions about certain things, and I was very surprised that you didn't know. So I'd much prefer for you to know than to think that certain things are a certain way owing to purely and simply ambiguity, because you don't know what happened. So, towards the end of June, there was a booktuber who announced that they were going to do a readathon. And this readathon sounded amazing, and I wanted to be... the readathon would involve 4 teams that each would have their own coach or team leader or whatever you want to call it, and I even signed up to be one of the team leaders. I was that excited about it. I thought it was going to be absolutely amazing. Within the first 48 hours, within the lead up to this readathon thing happening, there was a lot of I don't want to say drama that came out because it makes it sound bigger than it is, but a lot of people were being incredibly competitive, and I was hearing a lot of things that were going on. things that I may not necessarily have even known about had it not been brought to my attention, because there were things that were going on when I wasn't present. For those of you who don't know, a lot of people, excuse me, who were and are involved in this readathon are from America, and I'm from Australia, and so time zones are what they are, facts are facts. Generally, things would be happening when I would be sleeping, and I would literally wake up to find out that things had gone on that I was not aware of at all. I am definitely the type of person who puts myself aside for everyone else because that's what I want to do. And I'm not trying to say this in a bad way. I just feel that that this is how I am. You know, at the end of the day, my own thought about myself is, who cares about me? If someone else is in trouble, in danger, needs to talk or whatever, I want to do what I can do for them. People were coming to me to let me know just how competitive this readathon had become. And I was waking up to this many days in a row. And then it kind of got to me in the end, just how competitive things were getting. And I was starting to see a different side to Booktube. So I decided to do what I call a video journal. And so for me, a video journal is where I go on my phone, like I am now, I hit the record button, and I just talk through my thoughts and feelings. I don't think that that was a problem until I got to the end of the video and I got so worked up that I actually ended up posting the video on my channel. It's not there anymore. You can go and look. It was deleted 2 days later. And it was, I think, ultimately because by the time I got to the end of that video, I was strongly considering leaving Booktube. So I put the video up, and a lot of people saw it, and I received a lot of support for it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. People were asking questions. So then 24 hours later, I did another video, excuse me, where I kind of, answered some questions. And that's when things started to spiral. It is important for you to know that after I put up the first video, those people that were coming to me who were dealing with all of the stress of the overly competitive nature of the readathon were very supportive of me. And then 24 hours later, I don't know what happened, but again, things always seem to happen while I'm sleeping. I woke up the next day and nothing was the same for me again. I am not here to besmirch people's names. I am not here to put people down. If that is what you end up inferring from this video, I need you to know that that is not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place of explaining what happened because I feel like so many people are in the dark as to what happened and are confused as to what's going on. So please know that moving forward. There is a Discord server out there that I was well known in, and I used to appear there quite a bit, particularly for reading sprints. And then suddenly, I think from the perspective of everyone that wasn't me, who didn't know what was going on, I suddenly wasn't there anymore. And the reason I say this is because a lot of you were coming to me and asking me what was going on, and then some others were saying to me, oh, did you see this thing that I did over in this group? And I found myself in a very uncomfortable situation because something had happened behind the scenes. What had happened behind the scenes was that I was removed from this group. And I was very surprised and very shocked, especially considering that the powers that be in this group really seemed to be supporting me. And I even went to bed the night before and they were supporting me, and woke up the next day completely barred, banned, blocked from this group. There was no way for me to re-enter. So I ended up reaching out to some people who I know are a part of this group, who I consider to be very close friends of mine, and having discussions with them and saying, you know, kind of surprised, I've been removed from the group, I don't know what's going on, do you think we can try and work this out? And I was basically receiving the same amount of advice from these people, which was to lay low and not do anything. And, you know, time heals all wounds, so just lay low, everything will be fine. It is important for you to know that I did take on that advice. I laid incredibly low. I went on with whatever it was that I needed to get on with, but for me, I don't deal with ambiguity well. It is also important for you to know that when I was removed from this group, I was given a rough explanation as to why. It was incredibly rough, but I was not given a chance to respond to this, and it's important for you to know that too. Because I don't deal with ambiguity well, if someone comes to me and tells me that they have a problem, an issue, or a concern with me, I absolutely welcome that. All I hope for in return is the opportunity to respond and start a dialogue and see what we can do going from there. If the result ends up being, after we've had a discussion, me and whoever is concerned, that we can't move forward, I'm totally fine with that, because I know that I've done everything in my power to have this discussion with them and see what I can do to fix whatever has caused this concern. But in this situation, this was not allowed to occur because the powers that be that had removed me from this group did not give me the opportunity to respond to them. I immediately then deleted the 2 videos that I had put up. I felt like they had caused more harm than good, and the incredibly rough explanation that I'd received as to why I was removed from the group was because of the videos. So I removed the videos right away. And then I was telling everyone who would listen, I've removed the videos. They're gone. And I feel horrible that it's had such an impact on these people. I want the chance to apologize. What do I do? And again, the response that I received was to lay low. As I've already said, that's exactly what I did. So I tried to move on, but it wasn't easy. Now, so that kind of took up week 1. The following week that was a tough week for me mentally. The following week I was dealing with something that was incredibly tough, physically speaking. And for the first time since I've been on Booktube, I am going to let you all know something about me that I suffer with, that I haven't spoken about before, because it has nothing to do with books, but it is incredibly relevant to what was happening in the second week of July. I was born with a genetic tooth disorder, and if you want to look it up, it is called ameliogenesis imperfecta. So what this means is that I was born with no enamel on my teeth. My teeth are incredibly sensitive, and they have... this is going to sound disgusting, and I feel so vulnerable saying this to you, but I need to say it to you for you to understand what I was going through in the second week of July. My teeth are not only incredibly sensitive, but owing to the lack of enamel, the protection layer around the teeth, my teeth have been slowly eroding, and it's not been good. And I know a lot of booktubers sit here, but I sit here because I'm so scared of everyone seeing my teeth, and you probably don't, and you probably haven't even noticed this, but at the end of the day, perception is reality, you know, in the eyes of the person who's perceiving what's going on. For me, that's my vulnerability. What happened was a nerve in one of my teeth was exposed, and I went through a whole lot of physical pain in that second week. And I mean a whole lot of physical pain. You ever heard anyone talk about being in pain that was so painful that it was blinding? That's what it was for me. I would be lucky if I had 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there where I wasn't in pain, but the rest of the time I was literally in so much agony that I felt physically blind, and I could not focus on anything else aside from the pain itself. I don't know if this is the same in every single country, but we have a very tough situation over here when it comes to anyone who has a genetic tooth disorder, because in Australia, anything to do with dentistry is considered to be cosmetic surgery, and because of that, it's considered elective surgery, so you need to pay full price to get anything done. And you know, and so I'll give you an example as I get to the end of the point. So after the week went by and I was dealing with all this, eventually my father said, look, let's go and get the tooth extracted. You can't live with this anymore. So I went to a dentist and I got that tooth extracted, and that cost $400. No joke. So it is incredibly tough for someone like me to live with this condition, knowing that the only way to try and literally deal with this is to be paying bucket loads of money that I don't have. I've tried many different ways to deal with this situation, to the point that I was placed on a waiting list for a special thing that the government offers that reduces the price, but things were very complicated. I was on the waiting list for 3 years. I finally made my way to the top of this list. Then COVID struck, so I was put on the back burner for another 2 years because of COVID. And then since then, I've had one appointment with them, and they've been cancelling every subsequent appointment since then. So it's not like I haven't tried to deal with this. I have, but it's a tough situation. I'm telling you all of this so that you're aware of it, because it relates to the second week. All of that physical pain really didn't leave me with a lot of time to do anything at all, and I was struggling so much. And I guess the one blessing was that whenever I was in that much pain, I couldn't think of anything else at all. So everything that had happened that was built up in that first week, I couldn't focus on because I was in that much agony. But then, the tooth was extracted and I was starting to feel a whole lot better, thank goodness. And then we went into week 3, and now that I was no longer in that nightmare of that pain. If anyone's ever been in a situation, no matter what type of pain it is, no matter where it is on your body physically, where you're lucky if throughout the course of a week you get a break of 5 to 10 minutes here or there and that's it. Oh my gosh, I so empathize with you, because it was tough. I looked forward to sleeping, because anytime I would fall asleep would be the longest amount of time I wouldn't be in pain, because I'd be asleep. Like, it was horrible. So anyway, and because I was no longer in pain, everything that had occurred in week 1 came flooding back, and I was realizing my situation for what it was. I had been removed from a group with next to no explanation. I had been told to lay low. I had. It had not made any sort of a difference at all. And no one seemed willing to... sorry, that's not correct. No one in a position where they knew what was going on with me was able to discuss with me precisely what was going on, which was tough for me to handle. And I just kept getting the same advice. Lay low, it'll all be sorted in due time, and it just was absolutely crazy. Then I was accused of many different things, and one of them was that I only wanted to be back in this group because I'm extremely competitive, and that I will be able to have these people as subscribers, and a lot of other things that I was told that incredibly hurt me. Because as someone who puts myself last in every situation, to be told this really felt like a knife to the heart. But, it is what it is. And if people need to, they have a great saying, which is, don't kick a dog while it's down. If people feel the need to kick a dog while it is down, then that is their prerogative at the end of the day. But, eventually, we got to a point, and I don't remember if this was late in week 3 or early in week 4 of July, where the powers that be messaged me. And I was completely shocked that they had messaged me, because I'd heard nothing up to this point. And, they messaged me and gave me a bit of a longer version as to why I had been removed. Suffice it to say, what annoyed me with this explanation, without going into any details of what was said, was part of what was brought up was I've been feeling this way for months and just had never done anything about it. And what annoys me about that is, you know, there's a great saying in life, treat other people how you want to be treated. If I feel some type of way about someone and they mean a lot to me, I am going to reach out to them right away. You don't have to do it in a mean or horrible way. You can just say, listen, there's something that's going on that's concerning me, and I'd just like to discuss this with you, and just discuss it and deal with it. And if you can't, then you both go your separate ways, but at least you've discussed it like mature adults. So to find out that things had been escalating for the powers that be for a long time, and nothing had ever been said, until they finally cracked and blocked me and, kicked me out of the group. But it's important for you to know that they blocked me to privately message them. So I had no way of contacting them at all until they unblocked me to message me this. Had been a little bit annoying for me to find out. So I responded quite professionally to this long message, saying all the things that I needed to say, and conversing about everything that they had brought up. And then I received a response that was basically saying, and they'd alluded to this earlier on in the message anyway, but a response basically saying, just so you know, this doesn't change anything. I'm only reaching out to you because someone else told me that I need to reach out to you. That annoyed me, because honestly, what's the point? If you are going to enter into a conversation with someone that's not going to change anything at all, it's counterproductive. Why are you even doing that in the first place? So I rounded off the message basically saying, oh, okay, wasn't aware that that's why you were. Now that I know, it's totally fine. We don't need to discuss it. If it's not going to change anything, we can both just move on, and that's totally fine. This person told me that they, in this group, had not told anyone what was going on because they don't want to enter into drama. But the problem is, I think what they didn't see was just how much drama it was actually going to cause for these people with regards to me, because, as I said, people were coming back to me saying, Mr. Francy, why aren't you in this group? Or, Mr. Francy, I posted this in this group, as you saw, and I'm in the uncomfortable situation of thinking, what do I do here? Like, seriously, you did this and you're not telling anyone what you did. And now I am backed into a corner, and what am I going to do? Lie and say, no, I haven't seen it yet, which, lie in perpetuity? Till the end of time? No. So I ended up having to be the bad guy and say what had happened. And so I said, oh, look, let's not make a big deal about this, but I've been removed from that group, so I haven't seen whatever it was. Okay, for those of you who have identified who I'm talking about, there are two powers that be. There is one powers that be that runs the group, and there's another power that be that runs the Booktube side of things. The powers that be that runs the Booktube side of things is Switzerland, and I have a lot of love for them. The powers that be that runs the group, that's the issue. I thought that we had formed a friendship. I thought we had formed an extremely, extremely close friendship, because we were conversing a lot, and they had gone out of their way to give me some login details to allow me to access some audiobooks, which was really nice of them, and that's what friends do. And then they told me that we were never friends. That kind of hurt. So I, long story short, became, for the most part, a pariah. And again, perception is reality. Some people may say, no, you weren't. Some people may say, how does one group affect you? Not being allowed to be in one group affect you so much? But the thing is, when I make friendships or bonds with people, they are incredibly deep bonds that I make. And so I can't just switch on and switch off at the end of the day. That's not who I am. So it incredibly hurt me, stage one, that I was removed in the first place. But then it incredibly hurt me that everyone seemed to, not everyone, That's not fair. But the majority of people seem to either turn their back on me knowing full well what I was going through and kicking a dog while it was down, or they were turning their back on me having no clue whatsoever what was going on and just assuming that I'd left. And then there were a handful of others that were incredibly supportive of me. Thank you. You know who you are. I am not including you in this except to say thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. There's another thing I forgot to mention that's incredibly integral to all this, because while I'm dealing with all that, which is a lot for any one person to take on who is incredibly invested in the friendships that they make. And anyone who wants to sit there while watching this and say, but Mr. Francy, how invested can you get in a friendship that is formed online? I'm sorry, you can. If you get to know someone well enough to the point that you are conversing with them every day or every second day, there is a level of investment there. If it wasn't there, this interaction, the way that it was, wouldn't be the way that it was. I need to enter into the third part of this because this is when I actually realized that I'd become the pariah that I'd become. Because you're maybe looking at this going, oh, but Mr. Francy, you were, why are you thinking you were made out to be a pariah? That doesn't make sense. Let me tell you how. I love reading sprints, and if there's one thing that you'll know about me, it's how much I want to support everyone else. If you want the receipts, go back to my Celebrating Booktuber videos. I'm sorry to get angry here, but there has been a lot made about me being competitive and me not supporting others. I'm sorry, I'm the only booktuber who did a Celebrating Booktubers series that was literally saying, if you want good content, then leave my channel and go and support these people because these people have what you want. I am the person who will fall on the ground for anyone. But I love sprints, and I want to support each and every single person who does a reading sprint. Because I want to support everyone in sprints that they do, because I think sprints is such a good thing, and it takes a lot. I know this. I've hosted many sprints, not only on Booktube, although I didn't do a lot on Booktube, but also on my own Discord. I know what it takes. So if I can support you in this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Now, I've been blocked in this group, so anytime that sprints went on in this group, I didn't have access to these sprints. But if you have been sprinting over in this group, please know that I've been supporting you from afar, because there was just no way, I just couldn't get in. But there would be Booktube sprints that would come up with people specifically from this group. And I went onto these sprints and was treated in very different ways depending upon who was hosting. Now, one particular booktuber who is Switzerland, who I absolutely love, was great. Whenever they hosted, they were great. But anyone else who hosted, I saw exactly how I was being treated. I was being ignored at times. At other times, when I would put in a comment, and there would be times where they would literally read out the person's comment before mine and the person's comment after mine. So don't tell me that you didn't see my comment. You literally skipped over my comment. But if I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, I would comment again and the same thing would just keep happening. So it just became a waste of my time to be there because I was being completely ignored, completely invalidated, being there. So then before the next sprint occurred, I reached out and contacted the host of that sprint because I knew this person quite well. We had messaged daily and I felt comfortable enough to contact them. And I said, look, I just want to know what you think. Do you think that I should come to this sprint or not? Because, you know, I don't want to cause drama. I do want to support you. But if it's going to make things worse, then let me know, because I'd rather stay away, because I don't want to make things worse. I just want to be able to support you. But if my presence is not going to do that, then the best thing I can do is stay away. So what do you think? Like, you let me know and I'll do whatever you say. And the response that came back was, yeah, honestly, I think it might be better for you to stay away from the sprint. Okay, no problem. So I did that. Then I started reaching out to others, and it's when they would host, and what I was being told was, you can come, but we can't guarantee how people are going to treat you. We can't guarantee that people aren't going to be whatever. You know, they didn't use these words, but for example, vicious, cruel, mean, all that we can't guarantee you won't be ignored. And yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, there's a word for this, pariah. So I kind of woke up that day to the reality. And unfortunately, the reality was me supporting others, which is meant to be a really good thing, would actually end up being a bad thing. The fallout of all of this, whether from people who knew exactly what was going on or just out of sheer ignorance, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, I'm saying it in the neutral way that it is meant to be taken. They just did not know. But I lost a lot of friends. And it's interesting because I'm not sitting here saying I lost a lot of subscribers, which I did, but that's not my point. It's not about, for me, this is not a game. And I think I'm starting to notice that it is a game for a lot of people, but for me, it's not. For me, it's always been, my channel has always been about spreading positive energy, talking about books, making friends who are also readers. But I lost a lot of friends through this, and I was struggling to deal with that because these would be people that weren't directly involved. If I were to count on one hand how many people were directly involved, I would say there were 4, and I understand why these 4 stopped conversing with me. I totally get that. I wish I had the chance to apologize to them for my actions, because I should not have put up that video. In saying that, having put up the video brought out their true selves, because honestly, again, if the role was reversed, again, treat other people how you want to be treated, I would have reached out to them and I would have said, look, I'm incredibly hurt by this. I can see that you're referring to me and I'd rather you discuss this with me. They did not do that. So it's important for you to know that there was no chance for me to even apologize if I had done anything to them, which I don't know if I've done anything to them because no one has told me you did this to them. All that they did was block, 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 because we live in a society of cancel culture and social media being king. If an issue occurs, we have this thing called a block where you can block someone rather than deal with an issue. It's also the easy way out because it's so easy to just go block, we're done, and nothing gets resolved from that. But my point is that, yeah, I lost a lot of friends and I don't know why. And I started off by reaching out to certain people. I did, and would say, yeah, because to me, we're a family. So, I mean, if you follow me on Discord or if you ever have, you know that. You know that for me, this is not a game. This is not a business. This is my family. You are my friends. And that's how I treat it. Maybe I am too invested. And you know, some people have said that to me. You are way too invested. This means way too much to you. And you need to harden your heart. Or reach out to people and I would get no response. No, nothing. Now I want to get to my point about considering leaving Booktube, because one of the most hurtful comments that I received was that that video was clickbait because I was saying that I wanted to leave Booktube and it was ridiculous and whatever. I don't think it is. No. Booktube to me was fun when I first began. And let me tell you, when I first began, I probably had less than 100 subscribers. And Gosh, that was a simpler time. I was reflecting, I was talking to someone recently who has nothing to do with Booktube, so it was an objective outsider. And they were saying to me, when was the last time you truly enjoyed Booktube, like being a creator on Booktube? And I said, when I first began. I think I was lucky if I had about 5 views per video. Not that, not that I get a heck of a lot of views these days, but, I get significantly more than 5. But I had a lot more fun then because I didn't care. Where now, because I've made so many friends here through this platform and through the platform of Discord, I care a lot more that my videos are a lot more structured, in a sense. Not scripted. Again, definitely not scripted. I wish that I could not cut and edit my videos, because you would see how many tangents I go on. None of it's scripted. But I didn't care back then. I just did what I did and it was fine. But then what happened was, a year ago, I joined this particular group that has now blocked me, and everything changed because everyone was so nice and kind and welcoming, and on the surface appeared to come across as being so loving. And it made such a difference, not only to me on Booktube and in my Discord, but it made a difference to my personal life. My heart was soaring because of just how much love there was to share. And I'm not saying love for me, I'm saying love all round for everyone. It was really beautiful. And then it took an incident to occur for this sort of, from my perspective, because again, perception is reality, my perception, this war to break out and people to choose sides, and it became extremely ugly. And that's primarily why I wanted to leave, because I saw the ugly side of Booktube, and that's not what I'm about at all. And quite frankly, I honestly don't care. And this is my point about how I'm not here to play a game. I'm not here because it's a business. Quite frankly, I don't care if I lose 300, 400 subscribers. I don't care if I have 10 subscribers after this video comes out, because for me, it was never about gaining subscribers. Yes, it would have been wonderful to get to 500 subscribers so that I could unlock the community tab, because I've always wanted to be able to write in the community tab. And a secret that you may not know, unless you have more than 500 subscribers, that community tab doesn't open. So I would have liked to have had that so I could type messages to you all under the community tab. But aside from that, I was just here to have fun and talk about books. And suddenly it became more than that, and I saw the darker side of YouTube, and it's been incredibly hurtful to deal with everything that I've been dealing with, and to be constantly kicked while I was down is really hard to deal with. And I can be resilient. I can. I mean, good old Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again, because you're never going to keep me down. But honestly, you kick me down too many times, and enough is enough. And not everyone did this. Again, I have some of the most lovely people who are active on my Discord at the moment. And I say at the end of each and every single video that I do, I say that I'm letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind, love one another, spread your sparkling energy throughout the world. And that's what we get on my Discord. So to my beautiful Discorders who do this, who spread love and joy and happiness for yourself and for others, thank you. Because that's the big goal that I had. But to experience this vicious side of Booktube, is it worth all this to go through? And the answer is no, it's not. Is it worth it for those who I show love and support to, and they show it back to me absolutely 100%. And I do need to make a point, and you do need to know this. I have been spending a lot of my time on my Discord server, because on my Discord server we have a rule. The number one rule is no bullying of any kind. And I'll just have to see what happens from here, honestly. Look, as I said, I have remained a constant on my Discord. I'm on there every day. Not only am I typing on there, but I'm doing sprints and I'm literally talking. We have a voice section and I'm there every day. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss anything as to what's going on to do with Mr. Francy Reads, please join the Discord, because that's where you're going to get all the updates, and everyone on Discord can definitely validate that. I'm there every day. But as far as Booktube, I just don't know. I don't know if I want to make videos when I feel like, for the majority of it, like I'm in a hostile situation and I need to watch everything I do. I am a lot about speaking out and talking about all this stuff because of what it did the first time. But honestly, at the end of the day, I deleted those videos and honestly, it did nothing to make things any better. So at the end of the day, I much rather be real, raw, honest, and open with you all, and forthright and whatever, and just tell you everything, because then at least you'll understand what I'm going through, as opposed to thinking, well, Mr. Francy, why aren't you uploading? What's going on? You haven't been here for ages, and we didn't even get a reading vlog and last month, and whatever. At least you now know what's going on. I'm done keeping secrets. I much rather you know what's happening with me behind the scenes. So, yeah. Expect more life updates. And also, do you want other things aside from Booktube? Because I think there are other things I'd much prefer to talk about. I don't know, like sometimes, and different days I feel different ways, but sometimes I feel completely turned off books. I feel like I'm kind of burnt out. So, do you want to talk about movies or TV shows or games or whatever? Let me know, because I'm open to making this more than just one type of channel. And mixing it up and you know, doing other things on here. So yeah, if you have any ideas, anything that you would like to see on here, let me know. But yeah, for now with Booktube, I'm just going to take it as it comes. For all we know, I end up filming my August TBR tomorrow. For all we know, I end up filming my August TBR in 2 weeks, or I don't, or whatever. It just is what it is. Yeah, and the best way to find me, if I'm not here, if I'm MIA, is come along to the Discord. Link is in the description. If you have trouble accessing the Discord through the link, just let me know in the comments below. We'll find a way to get you there. But, and no, this is not me advertising the Discord. Honestly, this is just me saying, if you're concerned and wondering why I'm MIA, you can find me there. All that. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. See, I'm even second questioning a lot of things that I say because of things that I've been told by people I used to consider friends, and I really shouldn't anymore, because it doesn't make a difference. Those who have moved on from me have done exactly that. They've moved on, so I should just do me, and that's it, really, at the end of the day. Thank you to everyone who has supported me through this tough time. Honestly, I don't know where I would be without your support. And I can say that honestly, because when you get repeatedly kicked down and down and down and down and down and down and down, and you have no support, I mean, it leads to you basically sitting in a corner shaking and in the fetal position and not knowing what to do. So your support has literally kept me going, and you need to know that. All right, I'm going to end. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully that explains everything, and hopefully I'll see you all soon. Look, I always end with this outro, and that's because it means a lot to me that I do say this. So I'm going to say it again. I'm going to let you all go with peace, blessings, and so, so, so much love. Please, if you've learnt something from this, please do be kind and love one another. I have a dear friend who says, If every single person in the world led their lives with courtesy and kindness, we would be in such a different world. And I've always agreed, but never more so since last month. Please do lead your life with courtesy and kindness. And please do spread your sparkling energy, what makes you sparkle, throughout the rest of the world. Until next time, please do have some happy reading, and I'll see you, hopefully, very soon. Bye, everyone!